There are two temples in South India. I won't name them. It does not matter. Both are over 600 years old. Both dedicated to the same god. Both built from the same stone by descendants of the same school of architects in roughly the same century. You walk into the first one. Something changes inside your body. Your shoulders drop, your breath slows, the sound of the outside world disappears in a way that feels almost physical. Your eyes adjust to the half light. You don't know why, but you don't want to speak. You walk into the second one. It's a tourist destination now. Bright LED lights have been added. The acoustics feel hollow and harsh. There's a snack stall outside the Gopuram. Someone's recording a reel. You leave both the temples, same religion, same deity, same 600 years of history. But only one made you feel something. For most of human history, we've explained this difference with one word: God. The first temple had it, the second one lost it. The first one had been blessed, the second one had been desecrated. The first one held divine presence, the second one didn't. I grew up believing exactly this, but over the last few years, I've been reading papers from neuroscientists, architects, acousticians, environmental psychologists. And what I've found has changed the way I think about space, about temples, about offices, about my own home, about every building I've ever walked into and felt something inside of me. This episode is what I learned. It's called God or engineering. Before I show you the science, I want to give you a number. In 2009, a researcher named Bermudez at the Catholic University of America surveyed 2,900 people about the most powerful architectural experience in their lives. Not their favorite building, the one that changed them. Here's what those 2,900 people said. 87% people described the experience as introspective and silent. 89% said that they entered a state of awareness higher than normal. 53% had a strong physical reaction. And 21% people plainly cried. And when Bermudez asked them which building caused this, a majority of them pointed to sacred spaces, temples, cathedrals, and mosques. Now think about this. Across thousands of people, across cultures, across faiths, the same body, the same tears, the same silence. That's not coincidence. That's not good vibes. That's a pattern. And patterns can be studied, so let's study them. Here's something most people never think about. You don't really see a building, your brain sees the building. What that means is when you walk into a space, light bounces off the walls and hits your eyes. Sound waves enter your ears, air pressure shifts in your inner ear, and your skin senses temperature and humidity. Your nose picks up whatever the materials are of gassing. And all of it gets processed by specific regions of your brain that decide in milliseconds, am I safe here? Am I comfortable here? Do I want to stay here? This is a real field of science now. It's called neuroarchitecture. And 4 brain regions do most of the heavy lifting. The prefrontal cortex, the part of you that makes meaning. When you walk into a space that feels significant, this is what gets fired. The default mode network, your introspection circuit. The part of you that activates when you stop doing and start being. Quiet spaces switches this on. Noisy spaces shut it off. The anterior cingulate cortex, your emotional regulator. This is the region that distinguishes I feel safe from I feel a little uneasy, often before you can verbalize why. The para-hippocampal place area. This one is fascinating. It's a region specifically dedicated to recognizing places, not objects, not people, places. And it remembers them forever. Now, Here's where it gets interesting. In 2013, a researcher named Dr. Ocean Vartanian at the University of Toronto published a study in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, one of the most respected journals in the world. He put people in a fMRI scanner, showed them images of rooms. Some had curved walls and ceilings, some had sharp and rectangular geometry. The difference was measurable. The curved spaces activated the anterior cingulate cortex, the emotional regulator, much more strongly. People rated them more beautiful, and this is the key part, they were significantly more likely to want to enter them rather than avoid them. A curve in your wall doesn't just look nice. It tells your brain that you're safe. A sharp corner, your brain reads that as a potential threat. Evolutionarily, sharp shapes meant claws, weapons, edges of cliffs. Curves meant horizon lines, water, soft ground. You're not imagining the feeling. Your 600 million year old reptile brain is doing exactly what it has evolved to do. Now hold on. I'm going to make this even more concrete. In 1984, a researcher named Roger Ulrich published a paper in Science, also one of the top journals on earth. He had been studying recovery patterns in hospital patients who had gallbladder surgery. Now he noticed something strange. Patients whose hospital rooms had a window facing a small grove of trees were leaving the hospital almost a full day earlier than patients whose room faced a brick wall. They also needed few doses of strong painkillers. Same surgery, same hospital, same doctors, same medication. The only variable was that they could see out of the window. Trees healed faster than bricks. That study changed medicine. It launched a whole new field of inquiry now called the Biophilic design, the science of how natural elements in built environments affect human physiology. And the findings since then have been overwhelming. When you can see nature, even an image of nature, your cortisol level drops. Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone. Lower cortisol means lower blood pressure, slower heart rate, better sleep, faster healing. Now this isn't poetry, this is endocrinology. So when you walk into a space that feels peaceful, what's actually happening inside your body? Your cortisol level is dropping. Your parasympathetic nervous system is taking over from your sympathetic system. Your breathing is deepening. Your prefrontal cortex is engaging. Your body is being engineered into a state of calm by the room. Now, if a peaceful space can be engineered, then there must be specific levers an architect or designer can pull. After reading dozens of papers and case studies, I'd argue there are 6 pillars, each one supported by research. Each one ignored in most modern Indian construction. Let me walk you through them. Pillar number 1, light quality, not quantity. Most people equate more light with better space. The research disagrees with this. What matters isn't the amount of light, it's the quality of light, the direction, the diffusion, the way it changes through the day, and crucially, the contrast between light and shadow. A flat, evenly lit room feels institutional. A room with one shaft of light cutting through dimmer ambient, that's the room that feels sacred. This isn't aesthetic preference. The Japanese have a word for it. Kumo Rebi. Sunlight filtering through trees. The play of light and shadow activates the brain's attention system in a way that lighting doesn't. It signals something is interesting here. Pay attention. Every great cathedral, every great temple, every great library, they all use the same trick. Controlled, directional light against deeper shadow. Your tube light lit drawing room, flat, even, fluorescent, is the exact opposite of this. Your brain processes it as a workspace, not a sanctuary. Pillar number 2, the acoustic signature. We talked about sound in our acoustics episode, but peaceful spaces have a specific acoustic signature beyond just quiet. There is a measurement called RT60, the time it takes for sound to drop by 60 decibels after the source of sound stops. In a normal living room, RT60 is around 0.4 to 0.6 seconds. In a great cathedral, it's 6 to 10 seconds. In a recording studio, it's less than 0.2 seconds. Each of these create a different psychological state. Long reverberation, like in a temple's inner sanctum, creates a sense of vastness. Your body senses you're in a large space, even before your eyes can confirm it. Your nervous system shifts. Your voice naturally drops to a whisper. Short reverberation, like in a meditation cell, creates focus and intimacy. Your own thoughts feel clearer because the room isn't echoing your distractions back to you. Most modern Indian apartments fall in a terrible middle zone. RT60 between 0.6 and 1.2 seconds. Long enough to feel cluttered, short enough to feel cramped. The exact zone the brain dislikes. Pillar number 3, scale and proportion. Here's something the ancients knew that we forgot. When a ceiling is high, significantly higher than the room is wide, the brain responds with what psychologists call the cathedral effect. Studies have shown that people in high ceiling rooms think more abstractly, more creatively, more philosophically. When ceilings are low, people think more concretely, more detail-oriented and more practical. Neither is wrong. Both have a purpose, but the wrong scale for the wrong activity creates discomfort. You can't meditate well in a low ceiling room. The pillars of Meenakshi temple in Madurai aren't tall just for the visual drama. Their height, combined with their density, pulls the gaze up and slows the mind down. That's psychological engineering at architectural scale. Pillar number 4, material honesty. Touch a wall of polished granite. Then touch a wall of synthetic vinyl made to look like stone. Your hand can tell the difference. So can your brain. There's emerging research suggesting that natural materials like stone, wood, lime plaster, clay, cotton, jute, raw silk, they trigger different neurological responses than synthetic substitutes. The brain may register the irregularity, the temperature behavior, and even the subtle off-gassing of natural materials and respond with what some researchers called biophilic comfort. The synthetic version, perfectly uniform, thermally inert, often slightly chemical, gets read by the same brain as a kind of low-grade alarm signal. Not strong enough to make you flee, but strong enough to keep you faintly unsettled. This is why old buildings made of stone, wood, earth tend to feel different from modern buildings made of glass, vinyl and aluminium composite panels. Same square footage, different nervous system response. Pillar number 5, biophilic connection. Ulrich's hospital study was just the beginning. Today, frontiers in public health and scientific reports, 2 major peer-reviewed journals have published dozens of studies confirming that even small biophilic interventions measurably reduce stress. A view of trees, a potted plant in your sightline, a water feature within hearing distance, a natural material in your field of view. Each one reduces cortisol. Each one slows the heart rate. Each one improves cognitive performance. The implication is profound. Disconnection from nature is a built environment problem. Most modern Indian homes, sealed apartments with sliding glass doors that open onto more concrete, they are biophilically starved. The body knows, it just can't tell you what's wrong. Pillar number 6, air and stillness. This is the most under-discussed pillar of all. Peaceful spaces have a specific air quality. Not just clean, but still. There's no rumble of a distant AC compressor. No hum of fluorescent ballasts. No vibration from a generator 3 floors below. Even infrasound, sound below the threshold of human hearing between 1 to 20 Hz, has been shown to affect mood and physiological state. Most modern buildings emit constant low frequency vibration from mechanical systems. You can't hear it, but your body can feel them. A peaceful temple, by contrast, has mechanical silence. The only sounds are intentional: water, footsteps, and a bell. The body senses this and it registers that I am in a still place. That alone changes everything. So those are the 6 pillars: light, acoustics, scale, materials, biophilia, and stillness. Now, here's the question that started this whole episode. If a peaceful space is engineered through these 6 pillars, then every great temple in the world must be hitting most of or all of them, right? Let's go check. There are temples in India that have been measured by serious acoustic engineers, including teams from IIT Madras and the Archaeological Service of India. Brihadeeswara Temple, Thanjavur, built around 1010 AD, constructed almost entirely of granite, which acoustically is one of the most reflective natural materials on earth. When a priest chants from the inner sanctum, the granite walls reflect the sound waves in a way that creates a near uniform sound field throughout the temple. Stand anywhere and you can hear the chant clearly. There is no acoustic shadow, no dead zone, no spot where the sound is weaker. That's not luck. That's deliberate placement of reflective surfaces relative to the sound source, calculated presumably by intuition and tradition, by architects who didn't have the software but had 10 centuries of accumulated acoustical knowledge. Virupaksha Temple, Hampi. The inner sanctum has an elliptical dome. An ellipse has 2 focal points. If you place a sound source at one focal point of an ellipse, the sound waves bounce off the curve and converge at the other focal point with incredible intensity. This is a known property of curved surfaces. Modern parabolic microphones and satellite dishes use the same principle. 600 years before parabolic microphones existed. Meenakshi Temple, Madurai. The famous 1,000-pillared hall. The pillars aren't just decorative. They are arranged at specific intervals. The pillars aren't just decorative. They are arranged at specific intervals along the length of the hall. Intervals that acoustically cause sound waves to travel cleanly along the corridor without dispersion or distortion. A chant initiated at one end of the hall arrives at the other end intelligible. Konark Sun Temple, Odisha. This one might be the most extraordinary. Standing at the entrance, the sound of the nearby ocean, which should be clearly audible, seems to disappear. Researchers believe that the temple was deliberately engineered with wave-cancelling geometry. The shape of the entrance structure produces sound reflections that destructively interfere with the incoming ocean sound, effectively muting it. The result is a sudden, profound silence as you cross the threshold. Modern noise-cancelling headphones use the exact same physics, by the way. The Konark architects did it with stone in the 13th century. And the most important architectural element of all, the Garbha Griha, the inner sanctum. Every traditional Hindu temple has one. Small, windowless, stone-walled, highly reflective. Every traditional Hindu temple has one. Small, windowless, stone-walled, and high reflectivity, long reverberation, often dimly lit by a single oil lamp. What is this space? Designed in terms of human neuroscience? It's a sensory deprivation chamber. Visual input is reduced. Sound is enhanced internally but cut off from the outside world. Temperature is stable. The air is still. When you enter a Garbha Griha, your sensory inputs collapse. Your brain, which is exhausted from processing the outside world, suddenly has nothing to process. The default mode network activates. Introspection takes over. You feel something. The space was engineered for that feeling. Probably 1,000 years before anyone knew what the default mode network was. So now you can ask the question. In the 2 temples I described at the beginning of this episode, the one that made you feel something and the one that didn't, what changed? It wasn't the deity. The deity is the same. What changed was the integrity of engineering. The first temple has been preserved with respect. Its original light apertures were intact. Its original stone surfaces unpolished. Its acoustic geometry undisturbed. No fluorescent tubes. No marble polishing. No additional construction that disrupts the sound flow. The second temple has been renovated. Smooth tiles installed over rough stone, destroying the sound diffusion. LED lights added, eliminating the engineering shadow. Concrete repair work, changing the material composition of the walls. A snack stall added near the entrance, disrupting the air stillness. Each of these decisions, on its own, seems harmless. Together, they unengineer 1,000 years of design. The feeling left because engineering left, not because God left. I have to address one thing before we move on. You've probably seen videos online claiming that Ohm is exactly 432 Hz, that 432 Hz is the cosmic frequency, that it matches the Schumann resonance of the earth, and that ancient temples were tuned to this frequency. I want to be honest with you. The science doesn't support those specific claims. The Schumann resonance is around 7.83 Hz, and it's an electromagnetic resonance in the atmosphere, not an acoustic one. It can't be heard. And it doesn't correspond to 432 Hz in any meaningful way. The 432 versus 440 Hz debate is a 20th century musical theory argument, not ancient wisdom. And there's no peer-reviewed evidence that 432 Hz has any unique biological effect compared to nearby frequencies. But here's the part I want you to take home. The fact that those specific claims are wrong does not mean that the ancients didn't engineer sound brilliantly. They absolutely did. They just didn't do it through a magical universal frequency. They did it through reverberation control, geometric focusing, material selection, and an extraordinarily deep understanding of how the human body responds to acoustic environments. The mysticism is unnecessary. The engineering is enough. And the engineering is, in some ways, more astonishing. Let's not trade real wonder for fake wonder. So here's the thing. You can't build a temple. You probably don't want to. But you can engineer one peaceful corner in your home using the same 6 pillars. It's cheaper than you think. And it transforms a house in a way that no expensive renovation does. Here are 5 specific moves. Move 1. Create one room with controlled light. Pick a room, a study, a reading nook, a meditation corner. Reduce the overall ambient light. Install one focused, warm temperature light source, preferably indirect. Let the rest of the room fall into a soft shadow. You will feel the difference within 48 hours of using the room. Your brain will start treating it as a different category of space, somewhere distinct from the rest of the noisy, bright lit house. Move 2. Treat one room acoustically. Heavy curtains, a thick rug, upholstered furniture, a wall full of books. These aren't aesthetic choices. They are acoustic absorbers that pull your room's RT60 into the meditation zone under 0.4 seconds. The room will sound different, softer, more intimate. Your voice will drop without you noticing. So will your thoughts. Move 3. Bring a real piece of nature into your sightline. Not a plastic plant, not a print of a forest. A real plant, even if it's a small one. Positioned where you sit, work or sleep in your direct line of sight. The cortisol reducing effect of even a single live plant within view has been demonstrated repeatedly in workplace and clinical studies. It's the cheapest stress-reducing intervention available to a homeowner. Move 4. Choose one wall of material honesty. You don't have to redo the entire house. Pick one wall in one important room and cover it with raw lime plaster, natural stone, or even untreated wood. Leave it textured. Leave it imperfect. When you walk past it, your hand will instinctively touch it. That's the biophilic response. That's the body recognizing something that is real. Move 5. Engineer a moment of stillness. Find a room or corner in your home that has no mechanical sound, no AC vibrating, no refrigerator humming through the wall, no generator below. Hard to find, but please try. If you can carve out even a small space with true mechanical silence, you have something rare in modern Indian urban life. This is your Garbha Griha. Smaller, simpler, secular if you prefer, but the same physics, the same neuroscience, the same gift to your nervous system. So, God or engineering? I started this episode with that question because it's the question most of us have asked even if we didn't say it out loud. Why does this place feel sacred? Why does this place feel hollow? What is the thing that makes the difference? What I have come to believe after months of reading, after measuring, after thinking, is that the question itself was wrong. It was never God or engineering. It was always God through engineering. Our ancestors, the people who built Brihadeeswara, who carved out the Garbha Griha, who placed the pillars of Madurai, who silenced the ocean at Konark, they weren't choosing between divinity and design. They were using design to invite divinity, to prepare the body and the mind and the nervous system to receive something larger than itself. Engineering was the door. What came through the door, that was for each person to discover. What's heartbreaking is that we've lost most of that knowledge. Modern construction has forgotten what the ancients knew about light, sound, scale, materials, nature, and stillness. We build buildings that are technically functional but spiritually dead. And we spend the rest of our lives wondering why we never feel at peace at home. But here's the redemption. The knowledge isn't actually lost. It's sitting in peer-reviewed journals, in fMRI studies, in acoustic measurements, in cortisol research. The science has caught up with what the temple builders knew intuitively, which means you can have this. You can engineer a corner of peace inside your home. You don't need a 1,000-year-old granite temple. You need light, acoustics, scale, materials, nature, and stillness, used with intention. And if you do that, well, maybe the question changes for you too. Maybe it stops being God or engineering. Maybe it becomes, what would happen if I built my home as if both were real? I think your nervous system would thank you. I think you would sleep better. I think slowly your house would start to feel like a place worth coming home to. And maybe, just maybe, on some quiet evening, in the corner you engineered with all 6 pillars, you'd feel something you've only felt in temples before. That is not God leaving the temples. That's God being given a door in your home for the first time. This was the code. If this episode meant something to you, send it to one person, just one. Someone you think would understand it. We'll be back to the practical episodes next week. Foundation, soil, bathrooms, light, the kind of knowledge that helps you build well. But every now and then we'll come back here to the deeper questions. Because building a home isn't only about walls and slabs and budgets. It's also about the quiet truth that every wall you build is shaping the person you become inside it. I'm Garbha Griha. Thank you for listening.